talk to them about lead flow though, and let's get specific with it. What you're doing, and I'll have some questions around that as well.
Gotcha. So what I changed from doing was previously, like I was saying, I was running 70-80% mortgage leads and traveling quite a bit, which is great. But then I heard Sean say it enough time, like, hey, you can get 4 Facebook leads for the cost of 1 mortgage lead. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's good for me because I don't close high anyways. Run more appointments, I should have more business, right? So when I moved out here, I kind of changed to where I had a bunch of counties when I moved here, and I gave a couple away to some agents. So now I get, in a really great week, maybe 8 mortgage leads, probably about 5 to 6 a week now. And then, around that, I try to get about 35 Facebook leads every Monday. I want to have about 35 Facebook leads to dial through. And then I have maybe 3 to 5 more, probably about 5 mortgage leads and ones that I still kind of go back to and try to reset those ones. So about 40 leads, for every 2 days. And from that, with the 35 Facebook and about 5 mortgage, I can usually pull minimum 15 appointments from those.
Yeah. So
like worst case scenario type numbers, right?
So 40 something leads to get you 15 appointments, which makes sense. Yeah. It's, you book about a third of them. And if you can sell a third of them, you're making money. Not that you can't sell more, but I'm going, even if you're new, if you book a third and sell a third, you get 100 a week, you book 30, you sell 10, you're at your 10 grand plus, 10, 12 grand selling that. Yeah. Again, it's like, I always look at this thing too. Like, I know a lot of new agents they worry about the risk of buying leads, and I always try to explain to people, dude, that it's actually, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage getting less leads. The sooner you can get more, the better. If you look at, and I always try to tell people this, I won't get too heavy in the numbers. I'll keep it super simple. Yeah. But like, if you're trying to make 100 grand, right? You've heard me do this a bunch of times. If you're trying to make 100 grand, it's netting 2 grand a week, right? In order to do that off 30 leads, right? It costs you $500 for 30 leads, roughly. You have to sell $2,500, $500 in leads and 2 grand. To do that, you probably have to make, 5 sales, right? 5 sales, $500 each, $2,500. Whereas if you put 100 leads in, now it costs you $1,500, but to net 2 grand, you only got to make 3,500. So it's 7 sales. You know what I mean? It's like 7 sales minus 1,500, but now you're 2 grand again. So I'm like, which one's really more risk? Having to close 5 out of 30, right? Or close 7 out of 100. You make the same money net, right? And you got to be terrible to only close 7 out of 100. Right. To be frank, when you're brand new, dude, not everybody's closing 5 out of 30 that they buy. It's just the reality, and then it puts this stress here, right? Which makes you not as good on the phone or in the home, because now you're worried about you. So we understand that part. And if you're brand new and you're there, get out of it as fast as possible. Yeah. Like, we're not confused. That stage is terrible, right. And then you have to be real, dude, is understand that really you're part-time, so if that's all you're doing is getting 20, 30 leads a week and running 5, 6, 7 appointments, just hopefully you're not sitting at home on your couch all day. Right. Because the reality is, what can you really expect from that part-time of a gig? And I get it. We have to train. I started part-time, but I spent a lot of hours out working my job and, door knocking and dialing people 27 million times a day, when they weren't answering or whatever. So I think,
and that's it. I'm going to cut you off. But the other thing people don't realize when they're brand new is, have 30 leads versus having 100 leads. Your mentality is so different because you're not really worried about setting every one. Yeah. They're like, I'm just trying to get through this list of leads. And people can tell that too on the phone, right? They're like, man, this guy sounds busy and like he doesn't really care. Yeah. And then they want to book appointments with you, right? You're like, look, I'm just trying to get, like, I have a bunch of people to call today. I can come over at 2, whatever you want me to do. And they're like, oh yeah, please come at 2 tomorrow. You know what I mean? So having more leads takes the stress off of you, because you're like, I got to get through so many of these people. Yeah. You're not worried about setting a single one. Like, you still want to, but you're not like stressed about it. Because you're not thinking, that's $15. If I don't set it, I might as well just burn that one.
That's right. Yeah.
So the more leads you have, you're like, I just got so much work to do. I can't be stressed about each individual call I make. So it just helps you mentally too, be stronger.
Yeah. 100%.